Greetings, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to Cosmic Truth Reverence, experiencing your infinite self. The Cosmic Truth Conference is gathering a unique panel of leading-edge New Earth visionaries who will share heart-opening and soul-elevating wisdom to dive deep into our multidimensional realities, embracing our star origins, and embodying our amazing divine humanness. We are invited to gather in reverence to the infinite truth of who we are and experience our sovereignty as galactic humans, elevating our planetary consciousness, together ushering in the new golden earth. Thank you for joining us. I am Annelise Shara, your host, and it's a pleasure to welcome our guest, Althea Lucrezia Avanzo. Welcome, Althea.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's lovely. So let me introduce you to everyone. Althea is a multidimensional channel. She delves into the intricate language of light and its role in awakening our divine potential. She assists in clearing timelines and accessing the Akashic realms. She is a galactic contactee, Reiki practitioner, Kundalini yoga teacher, and tarot and divination astrologer. Through insightful teachings and experiential practices, Althea invites you to embrace the luminous path of awakening, empowering you to embody your highest potential and align with the cosmic forces of light. You can find Althea on her website, althealucrezia.com. So, Althea, your topic for today is opening up the throat chakra to speak your truth with light language. So to start with, could you share a little bit about your journey, but specifically how you came to discover your light language gift?
Yeah, sure. So, for me, I've always had, psychic vision and intuition that was very developed. I come from a long lineage of witches. My mom is psychic. My grandma was psychic. They never took anything up as psychic work for a living, but it is something that I've always had. I think I got my first tarot deck at like 12, and I remember having, like prophetic dreaming and having things come through, and then they would, actually happen in real life. So, I've always been, psychically inclined, if you want to put it that way. The light language only activated back in 2017. I went through a few different important life lessons and, to an extent, traumatic experiences that then put me into a space where my perception shifted. And I was able to then open up because I wasn't blocking anymore on both a conscious and subconscious level. And then I started downloading a lot of information. And then my throat chakra started opening. I started being able to kind of like make these sounds, these vocalizations. I started getting a lot more clarity with the messages that came through. But it was gradual, but also quite impactful, if it makes sense. And then I think slowly in the years, understanding and trusting myself and trusting my channel, trusting the connection, the communication, with my higher version of self, with my guides, has then brought me to where I am now to, be able to actually help people access this part of themselves and open up more because we all have all the clairs. We all have all the psychic senses. It's just a matter of, practicing and being mindful and being aware and kind of like cultivating it. It's like a sport or exercise. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's the same with channeling. It's the same with speaking your truth. It's the same with connecting. So this is a little bit kind of like my story and how I opened and expanded, but there were a lot of different karmic lessons that I had to navigate and move past and move through in order to be able to hold this collective space like I do now.
Wonderful. So actually, you've been referring to the throat chakra, and it's also your topic today. And so, could you tell us more about how it relates to light language and how it relates to opening up to speaking our own truth, and also, example of practices maybe to help on this?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the most important thing is that your thoughts, actions, emotions, and words are all in alignment. You're saying something and you're doing it. So, living in integrity, living in alignment with your truth is going to be the single most important thing to help you in your ascension and awakening journey. And just be mindful and aware that, like, you need to set your boundaries, and your boundaries are the highest form of self-love. And how do you do that? You speak it through the throat. You speak it in your truth. Being in your truth is not just speaking it, but it's also embodying it, acting it. So let's say that you're doing something and you don't really want to be doing it. You're not in alignment with your truth. You're in a job and you're extremely unhappy. You don't want to do it every single day. That puts you out of alignment with your truth and with what your soul desires and your heart desires, and your connection to source consciousness. So when it comes to light language, when the way it comes through the throat chakra, and again, like, it really depends how your vision is activated. For me, I'll generally see it as sacred geometry. So it's geometric shapes and patterns that come through the phonetics of the throat. But light language, it can be written, it can be sung, it can be danced, it can be expressed in a lot of different ways. The throat is just a really it's a really pragmatic and practical way to assist you in your ascension awakening process. It's a really important tool to be able to have mastered. Having an open throat chakra is really quite pivotal, in your own ascension awakening process and in moving forward. So some exercise that you can do is just simply all the chakra sounds like Ram, Lam, Nam, Bam, Am, Om, and just kind of like making more and more sounds and then surrendering. If you're in a space where you feel like you want light language to come through, or you want a channel, or you want vocalizations, like, try it, practice. When you see channelers online like me or other channelers, we put out our best work. When we first started channeling, it did not sound like that. Like, my light language was like blah 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 blah, like, it sounded completely disconnected, completely strange. It took months, well, weeks, and then months for my channel to open and actually be in a space where it's more like a language. And per se, it's not even really a language, because it is a direct expression of the soul, so you can't really translate it verbatim. But I would say that, yeah, the most important thing would be being mindful of your boundaries and speaking your truth and making sure that your thoughts, actions, emotions, and words are all in alignment. And if you're not sure, go back to the body, go back to the somatic. What is the body telling you? Someone's asking you a question of something that you want to do. Do you really want to do it? How does it feel? Does it feel warm and fuzzy and great? Great, do it. Or does it feel like blocked? And do you feel nauseated? Does it feel strange? So that's kind of like a good way to know and understand.
Wonderful. Thanks for those tips. And so you touched upon it a little bit upon this, but could you unpack for us how the light language is a connection to our soul and our higher self, and also to our families, our galactic families. Could you unpack this for us?
Yeah, of course. So light language is a direct expression of the soul. It really cannot be translated verbatim. It works beyond the constraints of space and time. And it is really a connection back to fifth dimensional density and upwards. So it's really important to understand that when you are working with light language, it has to come from here. It's from the heart center. Yes, it's expressed through the throat, but these two need to be working and communicating and connected with each other. So what is happening here needs to be expressed through here, and what is expressed through here needs to be coming from here. And I mean, people have been channeling and speaking in tongues for since the beginning of time, So light language is really just, for me, the new technology that's coming through to assist the ascension awakening process. But also, if you revert back to the talking in tongues, it's kind of like an evolvement of that can carry a galactic imprinting to it. So let's say that you have a lot of Pleiadian DNA and work with a lot of Pleiadian energy, your light language will come through infused with that type of energy. And then again, I mean, for my personal experiences, I channel connected to two higher versions of myself, a ninth dimensional Pleiadian version, a 12th dimensional mantis being version of myself. Sometimes I will channel through technology technology as well. But again, it comes down to trusting yourself, trusting your channel. You can set the intention of wanting to channel specific beings or specific frequency, or say, okay, I want to channel codes now to help with clearing the solar plexus, and then that will come through and assist you. But I think, like everything with practice, there comes more clarity. And there's like an infinite expression of kind of like light languages that people, have been putting out there. When I first started channeling publicly back in 2017, there were maybe 10 light language channelers online. Now there's like tens of thousands of them. So it's been very beautiful to see kind of like how this healing modality and technology has evolved and expanded, on Earth and for humanity.
Absolutely. Actually, it was a question I wanted to ask you to see, have your perspective on this, that it's really coming up, it's really ramping up, and more and more people are accessing their gifts and this light language gift, and actually, so what is the effect of this light language? I mean, it's frequencies, it's to elevate the consciousness, is it to work on the Gaia's grid? What is the effect of light language?
It really depends on the individual, on the situation, on the person that's channeling, on the person that's receiving. So, on a one-on-one session, for example, the codes will go where they are most needed for that person. So, let's say that person is struggling with releasing fear, guilt, shame, anger, resentment. The light language will work maybe in the solar plexus where there's stuck emotions, and it will help expand and release. And that person the next day might feel like crying, or they might feel like there's grief coming up, or they might feel like they don't want to be around people and they process, or they might have, some old timelines or experiences come up with old like partners or family members, and in that way the light language assisted. It goes where it's most needed. Sometimes it will actually like stay in the field for a day or two and only be integrated when the person is able to integrate most of it. Maybe a day or two after, it will be integrated, maybe like in different segments. It's a really like the most versatile tool, in my opinion, that there is out there. It can also be used to assist with working on the grid. So let's say you get to a space where there's been a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of, I don't know, like death or anything like that, and you want to clear the space. You can actually use the light language to come in, call on the galactic family, call on your higher version of self, call on the codes to assist and clear the grid. And again, like how I see them is really, when I speak them, is really these extremely complex etheric geometric structures that come in and anchor into the planetary grid or into the earth or into the person's DNA structure. And then as they go in, they kind of like expand into light, and they activate light. Sometimes they activate their own codes of dormant DNA that the individual has within the strands. So again, it's very versatile. It depends on the situation.
Wonderful. And so, yes, you've been mentioning that our galactic families are coming, are present, and that's how we also are connecting with them through this light language. So could you tell us, in your perspective, why our galactic families are so present now at this time, in our timeline now on Earth, and what is their most important message?
Well, they've always been present. We just weren't at a vibrational frequency where we were able to perceive them before. So they've always been around. But because the frequency is rising exponentially, we now becoming more mindful, more aware, more open. And remember, the Earth goes through cycles. So when there was ancient Atlantis and ancient Lemuria, our galactic families were very present. They were very much here. We were very much connected to them. But as it happens with cycles on Earth, then, the evolution, then it goes back and then it goes forwards, and then they kind of like continue like that. So I think now what they're sending me now, and what they always send to me, the most important message is the individual sovereignty. So being sovereign within your being, and making sure that the decisions that you make are for yourself, for your highest alignment. You want to be present and you want to be connected to everyone, but you need to put yourself first. If you're not grounded, embodied, present, you're going to really struggle to help and assist on a collective level. So this taking your power back to yourself, this understanding we are all one, but we're also infinite beings of light. So we can really manifest and be anything that we want. And it's kind of like our collective responsibility, I feel, in our generation, moving forward, because we have this conscious awareness and understanding of this connection to the divine and to the, you know, I say higher forces because they are operating from a high vibrational frequency, but they don't really want to be called that. It's not like they want us to worship them, they want to empower us. They want us to be, empowered. And this is why part of my work, like I'm very connected to galactic beings, my family, and and I assist clients with that. But I put just as much emphasis and importance to being here, the now, the present, the grounding, the anchoring, the balancing the system, the making sure that the field here is where you're operating from, because you're going to really struggle to be in this 5D template if you're not anchored here in the now. We chose all to be here at this moment in time. So when I get a lot of clients that come to you and they're like, no, I want to leave. I want to go back. Take me back out. Like you can choose when you finish the cycle if you want to leave, but right now you chose to be here. So be present in the here and in the now. And I think this is a really important concept. And a lot of people, they struggle to connect with their galactic families or with their higher versions of self. And the reason they struggle to do that is because they're not grounded here. They're not going to come through to you if you're not anchored and present here, because you're not going to be able to hold the collective container, the energy and the vibrational frequency that they'll send to you to be able to communicate.
What wonderful. That's fascinating. And so in your perspective, where do we stand now in our collective journey of ascension?
Well, I mean, from what I understand, we've already entered the lower tiers of fourth dimension positively polarized Earth, which means we are on, like we can't really go back. We're gonna get there. I mean, multiple different timelines, and I'm always very wary of making energetic predictions just because you don't really want to influence the collective. Like the best thing that you can do is lead by example and stay grounded in your light and shine your light and make sure that you are operating from integrity, that you are, like it's really easy. Just be like a nice, kind human. Like that's really all you need to do. And you'll be on your way to ascension. Like it's really not that complicated.
Well, it's great to hear this perspective, and so maybe you would be ready to share an activation with us of light language.
Yeah, of course, I can do some channeling. So you can just close your eyes
Yes.
and enter into the body as you find your comfortable breathing rhythm. With every inhale, you breathe in light. And with every exhale, you release all that doesn't serve you anymore. And as we call on the Archangelic Collective, Michael to the south, Uriel to the north, Raphael to the east, and Gabriel to the west, we call on Archangel Metatron with his blue cloak of protection from above and Sandalphon to seal the grid from below. So we call on our higher selves of spirit guides, anyone else who wishes to be present for the greatest and highest good. You're welcome in the space. Kraya sesete koraya serai shinayataka. Treo to koraya shiraya try. Opening systems, opening. Ra, Eros yese shit ai shirayat kra, treo kura isi shik arok umai shirayat ra, treat erok uai shirayat rakt, kri at ke siet kura shirayat kra, opening. Opening, anchoring, more light, divine rays coming in, clean, releasing, letting go. Letting go of all that does not serve you, clear, releasing, opening, releasing. Opening. Rashetu kura isera ishera trat quiero kumrase kura ishera trea sekura yashera takrakt, tre at kraya tre, na yeshek ora yaset ara ishera tre at quiero kumrase karo kura ishera trate, yo, clean, releasing, opening. Releasing, opening, 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 letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, pony tangle, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, all that does not serve you, expanding, 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 more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 attuning, 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 rat kriya se sekura ishera yatra, tayatek era kiero ura isera yatra, shero ura isherat kriya shira takra, shu, shu. Cry, Shinayata, cry, grounding, 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 anchoring, grounding, anchoring, 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 bringing in more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 Arraya siese oro isheraya trana yeta cre et creo ora isiet ka ishare ro ra ya tre ora isheraya tra rayo tuning systems, tuning more light, divine rays, anchoring, 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 clean, releasing, 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 clean peripheral, tuning more light, coming in, anchoring, 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 Ratikiero ora isera ishera yatrat, creo ora ishera yatra, creo oro ishera yatra. Rat orat ek yoro na. Raya ishera yatre, tre oro ishera yatra. Grounding, 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 anchoring, anchoring, grounding, 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 anchoring, grounding, anchoring, 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 closing, sealing, sealing, closing, sealing, closing. Sealing, sealing, closing, 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 sealing, closing, sealing, closing, 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 sealing, closing, sealing, closing, 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 sealing, closing, 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 closing. Okay. You can gently start coming back to the body. And ground back to the physical vessel. Coming back to the now. Gently arriving. How are you feeling?
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Althea. Well, I feel energized, and I feel mm, more aligned. Yes, anchored. It's a great feeling. Thank you. So thank you again, Althea, for all you shared, and thank you to the beings of light who were here with you today. And you are offering a free gift to the audience. You are offering an e-booklet, which is called Energetic Chords and How to Release Them. Can you say a little bit about it, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's an ebook that I channeled, and it basically just it's a bit of a self-assessment. It explains the different type of energy chords, so like family chord, karmic chords, trauma chords, sexual chords. And if you are perpetuating any of these chords that are stopping you from living your life to the fullest, I give some exercises, some shielding. There's some light codes in it to assist you with clearing, and it's really it's very explained in a way that anyone could read it. Like your 80-year-old grandmother would be able to read it and understand what it is. So it's very versatile, and my advice is share it with people because it's a lot of information that we should get taught in school, but we're not. And so it's really important to understand the energy cords and the energetic strands and how they work and what you can do to, stop them from affecting your life so that you can live as an empowered, sovereign human being.
Wow, great. Thank you. Amazing. And could you tell us where can people find you, and if you have any new programs coming up that you'd like to share about?
Sure. Yeah, you can find me on my website, althealucrezia.com. I think we're going to leave the links below. And then my Instagram as well. It's LIGHTCODES by ALA. And then, yeah, my next two big projects that I have coming up. I've got a Bali retreat that I'm running in September. The early birds have sold out, but there are a few spots still left for that. It's going to be 7 days, 6 nights. You're going to be receiving a lot of activations. There'll be some shamanic work as well, a lot of light language, a lot of surrendering, clearing, releasing. We're going to be working on clearing the templates of the karmic trauma within timelines. So it'll be a very, very major timeline clearing clearing shift, and the work that you will do in that space will actually heal the timeline down the matriarchal and patriarchal family lineage. So very, very powerful work that will be done there. And then I have a training that's coming up in Los Angeles in October, from the 20th to the 25th of October. This is also a 1 week training where I'm only taking 10 people for this. There are still early birds available for this. And I will train people into opening up into their light language, channeling, accessing the Akash. There'll be a lot of somatic embodiment and movement as well. There'll be a life force activation too with a colleague of mine. There's going to be a lot of light language clearing. People will work on each other. So it's going to be very hands-on training. This is a once-off, like I'm not doing this again. It's like an exclusive thing. It won't be available online. It will just be in person in Los Angeles. So these are the two main things. But if you go on my website, you can see all my one-on-ones and my programs and all the things that I offer in my workshops and things like that.
Amazing. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing about this and this wonderful technology that we are talking about, the light language. Thank you again for all that you shared. And to the audience, thank you for joining us. Namaste.
Thank you.